Welcome. You are listening to Our Mindful Nature, formerly titled The Mindful Minute. I'm your host, Meryl Arnett. This podcast explores the deep connection between land and self through nature-based meditations and meditative experiences that invite us back into belonging to each other, to our ancestors, to the earth, and to all beings that make up this universe. If you would like to access these meditation practices as standalone audio files, please subscribe to my newsletter at merylarnett.com. It's free, and you'll receive a new mini meditation each week, along with behind-the-scenes content and bonus material for each podcast episode. All right, grab a cup of tea, pop in your headphones, and find a comfy seat. Let's settle in for today's episode. Hello, friends. I'm so glad to be with you and sharing this Thursday evening. How unusual to not say Monday evening, but I'm so glad to be with all of you and to get to practice on this solstice evening. So, y'all know, most of you have been with me for many years at this point. I teach every solstice and have for quite a few years at this point. And typically, the summer solstice, we are here to talk about light and abundance and fertility and growth and creativity. And you might be experiencing all those things in this moment. And if you are, amazing. And I really am not, in truth. I think this has been a really hard year. And I think we are witnessing really hard things in the larger world. The unending Palestinian genocide, climate crisis, it's an election year, God help all of us. There's a lot in the large world. And that's not even to mention all the things that are in our own personal worlds. And so when I sat down to think about, man, what are we going to talk about for the solstice? I didn't want to just be like love and light, sunshine. Yes to love and light, and yes to sunshine. May we revel in moments of joy and moments of abundance. And may we not ignore when we're not feeling that. Because I don't think seasons are meant for us to feel like, well, I must feel this way because it's summer. I must do this thing because it's spring. Rather, I think seasons are cyclical for a reason, right? The movement of the seasons reminds us the earth spins, time moves in its own mysterious ways, gardens grow, everything changes all the time. And so, yes, to sort of the larger archetypal meanings of seasons, but also yes to where we are in this moment and acknowledging that things change. And how I feel today might not be how I feel tomorrow. How I feel right now might not be the same a minute from now, even. And when we are here to mark a seasonal moment, we can let it be a marker of opening, of possibility, of hope or change, or just that little nudge to keep going. And so as I have been sitting, there have been two poems that have just been living in my head and my heart. And I want to share them with you tonight as a step into our practice. So the first one is new to me. I just read it recently, and it's called An Inn for the Coven. It's written by Gabrielle Calvocoressi, and I apologize if I ruined her name, but I tried. An Inn for the Coven. So I'm going to start by reading this one to you, okay? Witch hazel going wild along the walkway, and all the spots to sit and read our spell books, and all the ways to keep them out. 2 black cats and a beaver who eat carrots all day. Every room and upper room, even on the ground floor. And bee boxes in the way, way back, and the sweet man who comes to keep them. All our loves are witches too, or warlocks. All our children and all our children. Welcome. Water running in the brook, clean enough to drink from our hands, and 7 sources, and a deep well, all for us and all for those we bring over. 4 swings in the branches, a library in every hollow, and birds. So many birds we stopped trying to name them. We'll just let them be with their own names. Maybe they'll tell us. Porches, tomatoes in the summer and pumpkins in the fall, and curry leaves and curry blossoms, jasmine in the rooms at night. All love protected. All of us playing cribbage on the lawn. And as I read that and sat with that, the poem that immediately came to mind for me as a response, as a companion, is The Guest House by Rumi, which I bet many of you know. It goes like this. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice. Meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes because each has been sent as a guide from the beyond. When I read An Inn for the Coven, what I felt was lushness and abundance and love and the potential for beauty. And when I read The Guest House, what I think and what I feel is a sense of steadiness and spaciousness, a safety meant to welcome in everything that may be true in the moment. And we're reminded, somewhere between those 2 poems, we're reminded that what's on the outside is on the inside, right? And In for the Coven, I'm imagining some magical place in the woods. I don't know about you. I can like see it. I'm going to live there one day. And the guest house is inside. And it made me think, as we talk about summer and abundance and what this season and this moment of light is for us, it made me think about what it would be like to explore this idea of the inn, the guest house internally. A space that is rich and nurturing and safe and meant to sort of create that sense of, yes, that sense of hope or possibility or even just one deep breath, right? Because it's one thing to read an inn for the Coven and be like, well, one day I'm going to live there. I'm going to find that perfect place in the mountains and I'm going to live there. And then Rumi follows right behind to remind us, feel free to find that magic place in the mountains, but that sorrow will still knock on the door, right? That malice, that shame, it will still show up. And so can we make our inn as lovely, as abundant, as light-filled as possible, but sturdy enough and spacious enough that whoever shows up is welcome? And that we feel so safe that we are able to continue, right? Not just continue dragging one foot in front of the next, but continue with that sense of inner strength, that sense of trust in whatever comes next and our capacity to be with it. Yeah. And so this is our invitation as we practice tonight, is to explore what our own inner inn looks like, to find the hidden trails, to open all the doors, to hear the sounds, to smell the smells, to really tap into what is this place inside that is for me to be nurtured, for me to rest deeply and fill up so that when I move with that sturdiness and that spaciousness. So why don't we do a practice together and explore the inner inn? And we're going to listen, and this is a little unfair because I'm working off my inner inn. I picked mountain sounds because my inn is in the mountain and yours might not be. And I get that. So bear with me. And if you want to imagine ocean waves or prairie or desert or wherever your inn might be, feel free to imagine. But what we will be hearing together is rain in the mountains as recorded by my friend Nick McMahon. Yeah. Why don't we take a moment just to get comfy, to settle into your seat, to rest back if there's a back behind you, to let your arms rest, to decide if you want to close your eyes or keep them open. There is no rush at all. And I think I'll start just by reading an inn for the Coven one more time. And from there, we'll go right into our practice together. We'll do 20 minutes tonight as we normally do. Taking a deep breath in and exhaling out a sigh. And you might just do that again, inhaling deeply, gathering yourself up. Exhaling out a sigh. Allowing your breath to flow. And in for the Coven. Witch hazel going wild along the walkway. And all the spots to sit and read our spell books. And all the ways to keep them out. 2 black cats and a beaver who eats carrots all day. Every room and upper room, even on the ground floor. And bee boxes in the way, way back. And the sweet man who comes to keep them. All our loves are witches too, or warlocks. All our children and all our children. Welcome. Water running in the brook, clean enough to drink from our hands. And 7 sources and a deep well, all for us and all for those we bring over. 4 swings in the branches, a library in every hollow, and birds, so many birds. We stop trying to name them. We'll just let them be with their own names. Maybe they'll tell us. Porches, tomatoes in the summer and pumpkins in the fall, and curry leaves and curry blossoms. Jasmine in the rooms at night. All loves protected. All of us playing cribbage on the lawn. And you feel your breath moving within you. And you might silently say to yourself, now is my time to meditate. Now is my time to meditate. And as you say those words, you take the time to settle inside yourself. From the very center of your body out in all directions, letting go. You feel the edges soften. Taking time to release any tension in the face, across your forehead, your eyes, your jaw. Softening the cheeks and the tongue. Breath by breath, feeling your shoulders relax a bit. Your arms get heavier. Your hands rest a little more. Perhaps you can let go a bit across your chest. Softening the muscles that surround the heart. Maybe softening the heart itself. Letting go of the muscles in the belly. The hips, the thighs. Softening from your knees all the way down to your feet. From there, we take in the entire body here. Just noticing the body breathing. Feeling the expansion of an inhale. Contraction of an exhale. With every breath, perhaps you feel yourself settling a little deeper inside yourself. The breath encouraging us to settle inside our own internal in. You might take a moment just to notice, or feel, or imagine what this in looks like. You might notice landscape, colors or textures. Every breath inviting you just a little bit further inside. Imagining or feeling who or what is present in this in. What sounds do you hear? What smells do you smell? What do you taste? The breath continues to expand, contract. And we settle into our most favorite nook. A space made entirely for you. As we settle into a period of silence here. We'll simply rest. We say welcome to anything and anyone who shows up. for all the feelings, for all the thoughts, all loves protected here. That's it. Feel your breath flowing. Noticing if you are inside your internal in or outside right now. And perhaps noticing how you feel. And taking time very gradually to let your breath deepen. To wiggle your fingers, your toes. Maybe roll your shoulders back and down. And together we'll take a deep breath in. Letting go of a sigh. And taking all the time you need. Let go of your practice. Slowly open your eyes if they're closed. And you'll just move right to your journal. Take a moment, take about 3 minutes here to describe what you saw, what you felt, what you imagined, what you didn't see, didn't feel, didn't imagine. And there's no rush here, so if you're still writing, feel free to continue. I just want to offer, if you want to use an oracle deck here, you might grab your deck and shuffle it however you shuffle. And whenever you're ready, you'll just draw that card, one card, and let it inform your relationship to this internal this internal place of nourishment. Or let it offer what you might most need or get from this internal place. If you're not using oracle cards, you can simply answer those questions for yourself. What is my relationship to this internal in? Or what do I most need from this internal place? Thanks for listening to Our Mindful Nature. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider sharing it with a friend or leaving me a review wherever you get your podcasts. It helps others to find the show, and let's face it, we could all use a few more meditators in our lives. Our Mindful Nature is recorded on Muskogee land and produced with the support of Brianna Nielsen. Deep gratitude is offered to acoustic ecologists Gordon Hempton and Nick McMahon for the use of their nature field recordings in many of these episodes. To join my live classes, ask questions, or learn about my teacher trainings, please visit merylarnett.com. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next week.